Greetings and welcome to Healing for the Family. This is yet another episode of the podcast we hope will redeem the place of the family as a basic unit of society. We continue to be grateful, Manze, for your support, your faithfulness, your commitment to us, and all the nice things you do, just being a part of the Healing for the Family. We are continuing this conversation on parenting, and we've been talking. This particular series is about parenting single or parenting as a single parent. And as we were last episode, joined by my friend Mercy Adu, Mama Trio, also known as Mama Trio. She likes the good things in life.
Oh, I do.
She likes the good things in life. Did you ever, whatever happened to the red Mercedes dream?
Life.
No, Mercy, I think of you and I. Every time I see a red Mercedes Benz, I
You
think
think of
of
me.
you.
Okay,
You
amen. It
put
will
me in
come
a
along.
box. It will come.
It will come along.
It will
at
come.
Some point.
It will come.
With red heels.
With red heels.
And some very serious perfume.
From your mouth to the Lord's lips. Sorry. Are we okay? We continue? All right. So we met last week, and we were just doing a general conversation about the experiences of a single parent, and we ended up just talking about fatherhood and the absence of the male figure at home, and what single moms have had to do to create a good male community around their children. And by the way, you enlightened me, because I thought that the absence of the father, the male figure at home, is more, it impacts the boy child more. But you helped me understand that it's actually more for the girl child. And especially in your case, where you get more concerned about
the
girls,
yes.
than the boy, than Myron. This is so we are taking this a notch higher. And I want to ask you, actually, let me say this. I posted something on my Instagram a couple of months ago.
Okay.
The president had said this in his Madaraka Day speech about single moms homes, single parents home, and I think he's actually
said
single moms,
yes.
Single moms home. How did you feel about that part of his? Oh, and by the way, this is the former president. It's just.
Oh yes.
We have a new president.
He said that the numbers of single
mom
homes have increased.
Yeah. And
we as a society need to, almost to an extent, ensure that it doesn't happen, or the numbers go low.
Yeah.
In a way that made me feel like, Kwani, what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's wrong with single
moms? Yeah.
Single mom homes.
Yeah.
Or homes led by single moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
It didn't sit too well with me.
It didn't sit too well. The reason I asked this question is because there is an idealistic thinking of what a family should look like. And even in schools, I remember, I think this was CRE, Christian Religious Education, and even home science, on the topics of family.
Yes.
We were told there are two types of families. There is a nuclear family, and there is the extended family. And the nuclear family was father, mother, and children. And the extended family was father, mother, and children, and aunts and uncles and cousins and what have you. But the writers of our curriculums never imagined that there would be families where there would just be father alone or mother alone.
Yes.
All right. And, again, and please excuse me for this when we think of family, single parents families, what goes through our mind, through many minds, is especially for single moms, and I don't know, so please excuse me. I'm going to sound very ignorant here. I don't know if it's just me. So when the imagination in people's minds, this lady just got pregnant. She just got pregnant. She just got kids. There is no. We don't imagine that there could be circumstances
that led to that.
That led to.
Or maybe she was married.
Maybe she was married.
Maybe she was married.
Maybe she lost her husband.
Maybe she lost her husband.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, most times just assume that, I don't know, you just went out there and
yeah, you just went there and got a
got
baby,
kids,
got
and somehow
yourself.
miraculously, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe you're the
You
second Mary, you got kids.
got divine conception. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just assumed
Yeah.
that you just got the kids.
Yeah.
There's let me say, there's almost an assumption
Yeah.
that you're a very reckless human being.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a stigma towards, and I notice it's mainly towards single moms,
Yeah.
not single dads.
Yeah.
Because I mean, especially in the world that we live in today, I know a number of single dads.
Yeah.
But the stigma is mainly towards the single moms. It's assumed I don't know, you somehow are out there and
Yeah.
got the kids alone, and
Yeah. Yeah.
almost like let me use this like umekosa mwelekeo. Yes.
Yeah. Just
Yeah. So
living.
yes, there's that stigma, and then I think sometimes, I don't know if I'd call it stigma, but almost a lack of awareness. A lot of places will come up with programs, for example, or I mean, I know I have sat in church and we're doing a series on maybe the family. And whenever we do a series on the family,
Yeah.
it's usually for the marrieds,
Yeah.
the children,
Yeah.
and there's the singles who have unmarried, like
Yeah.
never been married before.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, oh,
What happens to those?
where do I fall?
Where do I fall?
Where do I fall? Because yes, I am single, but I feel like my life has been taken up by. I'm not as this may sound wrong, but I'm not as single as someone who's single. Because there's my life revolves around
Yeah.
my kids.
They're children. They're children.
Yes.
I mean, they're children involved. But then it's just no plan for.
Yes,
There's no plan for.
yeah, and it's not really. I think most times it's lack of awareness. It's just not remembering that there are these
Is
situations.
ignorance.
Yeah, around
Yeah.
us. It's not necessarily people going out of their way to just be mean or malicious. It's just not realizing that actually around us we have single parents. We have homes that are led by moms only.
Yeah.
We have homes that are led by
dads only.
Then, like in the African, and it's not just the African society, world over, families take the name of
The father.
the father.
The male. Yeah.
So I find sometimes for me,
Yeah.
it may not be a biggie, but sometimes I'm like, so now me and the kids, we are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
so it's identity.
identity.
It's identity issue.
There's an identity bit of it. So where I know, and I've had this conversation, and one of the girls was like, "Yeah, so mom, like, yeah, we are Mwathas, but you're not."
Yeah, you are not. Yeah. Why are we? Why are we
So-
even?
So can we just be their dues? They have asked this. So there's the whole identity that ties again with the man.
Yeah.
And now when a man is not present, there is that you also have to
Yeah.
deal with the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder who told us that we must take our dad's names. I wonder where that
wonder.
came from. Like, I don't understand it. And so I find it, we find it awkward. I had a classmate who had his mother's name. He had
Yeah.
and funny thing, because he had a female
name.
surname, we gave him a female nickname.
See.
We gave him a female nickname.
Yes.
And I'm probably, may the Lord forgive me. I'm
I
probably
see
the one
that
who
happen.
I'm probably the one who gave him that nickname.
Yeah.
God have mercy on me. To the things I did when I used to call him Rebecca. John Macau, please forgive me. And not just that. There are schools your children can get
Yes,
into.
there are schools that I find, I don't know the word for that,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make sense to be. There are schools that the children cannot access because the schools insist on children coming from...
On the idealistic view of family.
Yes, where a family is a father, a mother, and children. Yes, so... You may. I've learned to make do.
Yeah.
Like initially, such things would really rile me up.
Yeah.
But I've learned to, I'd say almost extend grace. They don't know any better. Like they think like in this case, in this scenario, the school thinks that. Or they refuse to just open their minds and realize that that's not how society is. You'd work so hard in ensuring that all the children in your school come from homes that have a father and a mother. But you may find that children who actually come from single-parent homes are even more disciplined than your so-called children who come from homes that have,
That have both.
So the assumption that because a child comes from a two-parent home makes them a better human being is what I find that as a single mom I constantly have to I face. So, yeah.
You know, Shalom Munyiri was here from Retro Group, and we were talking about the village.
Yes.
The village being the community, the family that surrounds children and comes alongside parents as they raise their children. And I am thinking, I would think of that more than, just one single home, and just focus on one single home being father, mother, and children, and think of that as the complete.
Yes.
I would think of the village more, so that even the single mom or the single dad, as long as they belong to a village, they belong to a big community, they belong to a family. They belong to a complete family, a wholesome family. And they don't have to feel like, or they don't have to be made to feel like, they are incomplete in some way.
Actually, when you said a complete family, in my mind, I was already thinking, because so for a while, homes that have do not have a father, for example, have been called dysfunctional homes. And along the way, I realized they're not dysfunctional. It does not mean that just because, sometimes they're referred to as broken homes. Or incomplete homes. So, yes, a father, or in a case where it's the mother who's not present, may not be present, but that does not mean that there is like a piece of the puzzle that's missing that needs to be placed. Yes, God's plan is very clear. His plan was a father, a mother, and children. Unfortunately, because of the hardness of our heart, because of sin, because of how human beings are, we have chosen to do things differently. And then some scenarios again, death. And death is as a result of sin. So some of these things are beyond, most of them are really beyond our control. So I have learned to accept, I like to say, I've learned to accept my lot and run with it. Initially, it was very difficult because I am a planner. I had my perfect plan for life. And you can be sure, being a single mom was, it wasn't there.
It wasn't,
It wasn't there. So when this happened, I've had to really work on my mind to remind myself that yes, so this has happened and this is what my reality is. So how do I deal with it? And yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to redefine what we think the role of the family is, the role of the family in society is, because the definition of the role of the family that we have had
Yes.
is what informs, our insistence on the family being that idealistic, and
Yes.
complete
Two-
in that sense. Two parents,
Yes.
mom and dad, and children. So if we redefine the roles of the family to society, then it will help us believe that a good mother,
Yes.
a good father can do a good job raising
Yes.
good children
Yes.
by themselves. And that is very helpful in eliminating the pressure on the single mom and the single dad, and especially for single mom, because single dad is not, we don't even talk about it.
Yes.
And maybe we should, but it eliminates the pressure on the single mom to want to get into relationships for the sake of the children.
Having
Yeah, for the sake of
Yes,
I don't
yes,
want
yes,
my
yes.
children to grow up without a
without
father.
I
As if it's an incapacity.
yes, I see that a lot. I hear it a lot. I mean, if you do not want to have someone, you just need to have someone, even just
Yeah,
for the
just
sake
for
of
this,
the kids.
just for these kids. Yeah. Just
I should
settle.
have- yeah,
Just
it's
settle.
almost,
Remember,
I
it's-
just
yeah.
need to settle because of the children.
Yeah.
And yes, I am aware that there's something they need. Actually, I realized at some point. It made me sad. I realized that I come from a family where my father. My dad was very present. My father is very, very present.
Even
He's
now.
always been a present dad.
Yeah.
And at some point I realized I have not been recognizing the pain or the lack, for lack of a better word, that the emptiness that my children
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
because they don't have their father present. Because
Yeah.
for me, I'm used to, I have my dad and
Yeah,
he's present. Like I
yeah.
did not recognize that it's actually a need
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
So yes, I know it's something that they need, and
Yeah.
I have tried as much as possible to expose them, or have friends, have my dad, my brother step in. But at the end of the day, as I said earlier, at the end of the day, it can only be God who can
Yeah.
fill up that space.
Yeah.
There's just so much that my father, my brother, my friends,
Yeah.
or even that man that I am supposed to get married to ensure that they have a dad, will actually do. Yes. So I try as much as possible to help them understand that, yes, this is not how, at least it's not what you have seen.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what everyone assumes to be a normal family, but it's okay. I know one of my struggles at some point was when for CBC we needed to take a family photo
Yeah.
and and have the children go with the family photo to school.
Yeah.
And of course we went to the studio, me and my kids, and because for a long time it's just been us.
Yeah.
But there's a pain of sort that I felt. I was like,
This is not.
my kids are missing out on this.
yeah.
They're missing out on this.
Yeah.
But what to do?
Yeah. Let me ask. I have two questions. Let me ask. I hope I will remember
Yes.
the first one. But let me ask this one. What are, and because of the stigma, the kind of schools that won't take in children of single moms and stuff, what are some of the things you feel like your children have missed out on, or the ones you've observed that your children have missed out on, or they have been denied? Actually, the question I'm asking is that they've been denied because they come from an incomplete family. Are there any?
I'd not say the stigma, but the thing with a single parent home, what happens with a single parent home? More likely than not, it becomes a single income home.
Yeah.
Now, when it's a single income home, there's a lot that you have to learn to adjust. There are things that you would want to do, for example, or expose the children to that you're unable to. Like for the things I want my children to experience, but I have to also, I mean, there are bills to take care of. So there's a lot of balancing, like you're constantly balancing bills. And like, okay, so will we do this or do this?
Yeah.
So I'd say maybe a different kind of lifestyle, to be honest. What I had in mind for them, like when I was planning my grand, you know, my grand plan for life, this wasn't it. So there's a lot more that I would like for my children. But that has not been possible financially because, again, there are constraints. So you have to learn to make do with what you have. But the upside of that is you learn to be innovative. And then I think I've also learned that as human beings, we don't need much. A lot of the things that we want, I really want, they're not needs. They're not
needs.
That that's important. So there's that. What else do I feel like they have missed out on? Honestly, I think just having a father present. Like, you know, going to hug a dad, their dad, or being held by their dad, for example, for the girls, or for Myron, being patted on his back, doing stuff with their father, basically. That I feel they have missed out on. But when it comes to stigma, I can't say I have outrightly. I don't feel like I have. I don't feel like I have outrightly felt stigma. And again, I say probably it's because I am a strong personality, and but by the time you're getting to me,
but you also have a community that has sheltered you.
Yes,
I mean, your friends, your family.
Yes, so I have. I've had a community. I have a community, so that really helps in my journey. So. To a great extent, my family steps in. I mentioned I come from a very close-knit family. My family steps in. My friends step in.
It's close-knit and it's big.
And it's big.
You have a lot of...
Yes, so I have a lot of help. The truth is I have a lot of help. I mean, 5 sisters, 1 brother. So I have a lot of help. By the time... It's someone
by the time they have gone round.
Yes.
Then
even my brothers-in-law have also stepped up. I mean, there are scenarios, for example, where a father, my son has an activity in school that needs it's a son and father activity. It's my brother-in-law who has gone with him. So again, I have community. So that has helped. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that for a lot of single moms,
it's a lonely journey.
It's a lonely journey. It's
actually lonely and alone.
You're basically doing this alone. And even in my circumstances where I have friends and I have family, honestly, there are moments
there
when...
are a lot of moments.
I remember most of the moments...
A recent incident.
I'm alone.
A recent incident with Mia. And that was hard. I almost lost that girl, and I was home alone with them, and I remember having to it's all right.
finding her, stiff, unconscious. And now thinking, trying to figure out, so what am I supposed to do? Of course, as a mom, the first thing, adrenaline kicked in, and I held her and I ran with her. But I was crying out for my neighbor. It's at night, so I'm crying out for my neighbor. I called him so many times. I'm like, please get out. I need your help. I'm screaming the house down. And he came out. He was very fast. He came out, and we rushed Mia to hospital. And even the whole process of going to hospital, I had to go with all kids. I can't leave them
and
alone.
especially
I can't leave
because
Myron.
one of their own has
I can't leave Myron and Mickey at home. so we all went to hospital, and on the way to hospital, I called my sister. I informed her. I called you,
Yeah.
but I felt so. I called my friends, my
Yeah.
girlfriends, and they came to
Yeah.
hospital,
Yeah.
and you guys were there. But at the end of the day, I felt so alone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm alone in this journey.
Yeah.
Then it so happened that this happened when I was also ill.
Yeah. Yep.
So the feeling of, oh my God, I wish there was someone who would, because I'm not okay. Like, I'm sick. Like, if someone could take up this, also give me just time to.
But then let me just say this, because I remember that day, and we were talking in the previous episode about you wanting, aspiration for Myron to grow up as a leader. I saw him lead on that day.
did.
I saw him lead and make decisions.
Yeah.
Make decisions. At 13-year-old, very few 13. I don't think I was making those kinds of decisions when I was 13 years old. And so just to affirm that dream that you have for him,
Thank you.
it's it's working. It's working. He's turning out. He's turning out good. Yeah.
That day made me realize that all the hard work that I feel like I have put in is actually now
It's paying off.
It's paying off.
Yeah.
I mean, things like Myron remembered to check for a pulse.
Yeah.
He checked. He went down on
Yeah.
his knees.
Yeah.
I'm screaming and I'm hysterical.
Yeah.
He checked her pulse and he was like, she has a pulse.
Yeah.
Like he was able to.
So
be
he was calm.
Yeah, he was
calm
actually
with
very
the-
calm through the whole whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Then Mickey was quiet throughout. Of course, she's the one who came and told me what had happened, and I ran upstairs. But the whole time she was quiet. So
Yeah.
later on, when I asked her, Mickey, how come you're just okay? I was
Yeah.
screaming.
Yeah.
You're just quiet. Mickey told me, I knew God is with her and He's good. And for me, that
And
for
that's
me was-
important. That's important for you.
It's important to me that
because of what you are trying to
yes,
teach
that-
them.
that they know God and
Yeah.
they're able to connect with God even
Yeah.
in such circumstances.
Yeah.
That was such a big deal.
Yeah.
So now when you talk about it, now that they actually make fun of me, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Mom was crying, Mom
screaming.
was
Yeah.
screaming."
Yeah.
And I remember Mia waking up on the way to. She woke up before we went to hospital.
Yeah.
Then I was still crying because I was so scared.
Mm.
And she was like, "Mom, it's okay. Keep quiet. I'm fine." Then she asked me, "You thought I had died?"
Oh no.
And in my heart of hearts, I didn't say it, but I'm like, "Child, you
Yeah.
are gone."
You're gone.
Yeah. But that day, I remember feeling so
Alone.
alone. Yes,
Yeah.
I had the love of my community. I mean, people came out and they were
Yeah.
present.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
I was alone.
it's-
Now, when
yeah.
we went back home after, because we were admitted in hospital, then we had to go back home. She was okay and everything is fine. I remember it was so hard for me to even lock the gate. There's a feeling of, what if something of that sort happens again? And I'm
the gate is
home
locked and yeah.
alone
Yeah.
with them. Like, now I'd started doubting if, as a mom, I'm able to protect my children. I'm able to provide them with what they need. So there's a lot of adjusting. There's a lot of, I actually had to talk to a therapist about the whole ordeal and process so that I'm able to now, because for a while I did not even want to, I wanted to be able to see the children at any single moment. I wanted to know.
You want
so you're
your
there.
eyes on them when you're...
I can
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
Yes.
My heart, listening to you, my heart goes out to moms especially who are alone. They, there's they don't have anyone on their speed dial, or in moments like those they don't know who to call. But what I know about you is you have been intentional about building the relationships that you have around you that you can call in moments like those, and that's helpful. And so I hear you say, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that even for a single mom who is alone, who doesn't have a big community of siblings like you do, make it intentional about
find community.
finding community.
We're not meant to do life alone.
We're not meant to do life alone.
Whether a parent, whether single, we are not meant to do life alone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, how life has been of late, a lot of people tend to stay in their own spaces and not let people in. Either because of hurt, you know, they have been hurt before.
Yes.
They do not want to trust that, you know, if I let someone in, I will not be hurt. They do not want to be vulnerable. But I have learned that you can't do life alone. It's exhausting, to be honest. It's very exhausting. And I'm one of those people who says, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die alone. And yet there are people around me. I just did not reach out. I was just not... there's this friend who keeps telling me, Mercy, don't be bashful. If you need help, ask for help. And it helps. I've learned that it helps to ask for help when the relationships have been built over time. So I have let people into my space. I have let people into my space. Yes, again, not just everyone. Because for me, it's also key that I protect my children. So those who I know, you know, the qualities that we talked about earlier and all, what's important to me. I have let these people and I trust them with my children. I normally say, I trust God to give me a long life. I trust God to give me a long life. But I know that my children will be okay if I am not here. If He calls me home earlier than I anticipate, they will be okay. And I know this because, you know, at some point we were talking, and I talked to my kids about death, and, you know, and one of the things I asked them, so if mom is not here, what would happen? Would you change, for example, churches? Said no. See, so and so, this particular uncle will just pick us and we go to church. Like, like for them,
they know
they
have their future planned.
It's planned. I mean, mom, yes, sorry, you may not be there, but we know that there is so and so that we can rely on. There's so and so that we can trust in. And for me, that's key. That's key. Again, these are relationships that have been built.
They have been built over time. They didn't happen overnight.
They didn't happen overnight. And it takes a lot of, because the truth is, with being a single mom or single parent, there's a lot of pain involved in the process of how you became a single parent. So the truth is, you have to be able to deal and process that pain to let others in. Because otherwise, I would be walking around with the pain and not let anyone into the children's lives. So it would just be me and the kids.
And so what you're saying is, process the pain, feel the fear, sometimes even the shame, because of you know, sometimes even the shame, but go out anyway, go out of your way anyway for your children, and build those relationships that help your children to have a community around them that blesses them. This thing we were talking about earlier, the stigma and the schools there and the thing. I also want to say this. It's not your problem the way people have chosen to see you. It's not the way people have chosen to look at you. That's their problem. It's the problem with wakona shida ya macho. It's the problem of it's their problem of things. So you cannot allow yourself to soak in and
and carry it around.
Because you already have so much to carry. If you're a mother of 3, you already have 3 children to carry.
So if I was to listen to, for example, or take in the opinions of everyone, if I was to carry the weight or really what people say, and I've noticed now for me, at some point I actually had to get off Facebook, and I got off Facebook because of what was being, said about single moms. It was just, it was too much. I was like, I
Parents
can't.
have a lot of opinion.
Yes, I can't take this. And the thing is, I'm not able to control what people say or what people think. I have learned that with time. Initially, I used to think, okay, maybe if I enlighten them, and so I'd constantly, want to share and write, and then I realized at the end of the day, I cannot control.
You can't stop people from having an opinion.
You can't. So the most important thing for me has been to learn to travel light. So what's important? I take in what is important. People's opinions, no. I have, as I said, I have defined what success looks like for me. And it's raising the kids in what way. So that helps. Then I have those who I trust, who I let in. Because the other thing is, I'm not an expert at parenting, for example. I'm not an expert at single parenting. So again, I sit at the feet of a number of people. Again, community. The people who help me process, so and so, for example, this child is behaving in this way. I don't know what to do. What do you think? I process this a lot because a lot of times you need to hear what someone else has to say. You need, it can't always be what Mercy thinks is right, because probably what Mercy thinks is right, I have tried it over time. Say if it's a discipline issue, I have tried it and it's not working out. So what do I do? And initially, my struggle used to be that. So, say a particular child is misbehaving, and I feel like there's no one to turn to, like no one to process this or have a conversation with about this, so that I know what I should do different or how to handle. But realizing that it does not have to be a spouse. It doesn't have to be a spouse. There are people around me who I trust their opinion. Their character is good. So by all means, I ask. And if I need to sit with someone and talk about the kids, but for me, I don't usually shy and hold back and say, oh, what will they think? I'm sorry, you may think whatever you need to think, but I need help, so I'm going to ask for the help.
You'll think what you want to think, but I know I need help, and if I can get it from you, I also know it's my responsibility
to ask for it. So that's the other thing that, as a single mom, I realize I have to be very intentional about. I cannot assume that those around me are aware and they will just, it's automatic. It is not automatic. I have to ask for the help.
Let me ask you a hard question. Do you ever have feelings of guilt?
All the time.
Why?
All the time. I feel, I struggle. I know for a while I struggled with the fact that I feel like I failed my kids. Like I've failed them because this is not the life. As I said, there's the life that had envisioned for them.
It's not the life. It's not.
It's not.
It's also not. Yes. Complete according to.
That bit too.
Yeah.
But also, so for example, I feel like my kids have had to grow up really fast.
Yeah.
Like, if you're to have a conversation with them, it's like you're talking to adults.
Yeah.
To a great extent.
Oh, that I know too well.
Yes. To a great extent, I think it's because of circumstances. It's because of how life has turned out.
But so then Myron made me fall in love with Isaiah 52, just so you know. that day we did devotions and he read Isaiah 52. I really love.
I'd not even thought much about that Isaiah 52. Even when we read, until you shared about it in church. Then I went and I was like, okay, what was this boy reading? And I was like, wow, this is probably a word for me in this season. Yes. Yes. So the guilt for me has been, I feel like they have had to grow up really, really fast. And especially Myron. Yeah. Probably because I have been with Myron for longer. Then by the time his sisters were coming along, and then his sisters were 2, really, he was 5, but it's like, hey, there's a lot that's going on here. I better get it. You need to step up. So to an extent, my guilt is, I feel like I have robbed them of part of their childhood.
Mm.
Yeah. So I constantly, now I noticed with Myron at some point he'd even, want to discipline his sisters and, step into that. But I'd remind him that Myron,
Yep.
you're a child
You're a
in this
child.
home.
Yeah.
You're a child. I am the parent. Let me
Yeah.
handle that. Because again, I do not want him to grow up having missed out on what it's like to just be a child and being carefree. Because man, when you're an adult, there's just so much. So if you can be a child and enjoy it, by all means.
Yeah. Allowing children to enjoy their
being kids.
their childhood.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever blamed you?
That's a hard one.
I want to explore this a little more. The question on guilt, because I feel like there's a lot more. There's a lot more there. There's a question of guilt. There's a question of shame, being blamed, or even blaming yourself on things that your children are missing out on, if they're missing out on anything. But I want us to ask those questions in the next episode. If you will please come.
That's okay.
This is Healing for the Family. We are praying for your family. Have a good night.